My video today is about the decline of America. I want to first start off by my looks. No, I'm not all dressed up. I'm home in my place and I'm not all fancy dressed up. I think that would take away from the point I'm trying to make. I wearing a t-shirt, my hair's uncombed, I'm wearing glasses so I look intelligent, but it's not me. I don't want you to be absorbed in anything but my thoughts, not my looks, okay? And some of you have your opinions about how I look, but that's fine. The next thing that I was so surprised at reviewing my past videos is that I was mumbling. I mean, I was a teacher for over 30 years. I lectured in front of classrooms. I lectured in front of large groups. And to see that I was mumbling just really was disappointing. So a big goal for today is no mumbling. Speak clearly, okay? So to start off, when I was a young teenager, I swore I would not be like the grumpy old man. When I was a young teenager in the early 60s, I would see these older men in their 60s and 70s just sitting around and complaining. Oh, back in the day, if it was like it was, things are just not the way they should be. And complaining without anything except it was better back then. Well, I don't want you to think that's what I'm doing now. I'm not comparing or saying the world is coming to an end and it's only because things aren't the way they used to be. No, I mean, what was in the past had its positives and negatives. What's happening now has its positives or negatives. And if I'm coming across like a grumpy old man, I apologize. I just want to tell you what I'm seeing that's happening and what should be or could be done about it, okay? So when I talk about the decline of America, I'm just talking about the facts that we are going through some drastic changes. Some other examples of drastic changes were the civil rights movement in the 60s. And they had two major parts of it. One was Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil disobedience, no fighting back, just making a statement. And it was a powerful thing. Then on the other side, there was the Malcolm X, and you have to fight and destroy the system. Along with that, not part of the civil rights, was Bill Ayers and his groups. Just destroy society, blow them up, kill people to make changes. That's not necessary. I mean, what Martin Luther King did was the biggest part of those changes and civil disobedience. And you should always speak up against things you disagree with. That's the First Amendment to the Constitution, freedom of speech. We're supposed to speak up about things we disagree with. The protests against the Vietnam War, you disagree with it, you speak up, you protest, you carry signs. You say what America is doing in Vietnam is we disagree with. That's great. But the other part of it that I saw personally was American soldiers coming back from Vietnam being spit on, being called baby killers. I mean, that was, first of all, completely wrong. They were serving their country. They were doing what was right in that situation. And we look now on our veterans and we praise them, which we should, but we forget about how we treated the Vietnam veterans. And that was wrong. It should be looked at. It should be, we shouldn't just get stuck in the situation where, oh, we love our veterans now, we care about them, and everything's okay. No, that was a bad time. We got to remember it so we don't do it again. And the people that were involved in that were wrong. And that's not the way you protest against a situation, by calling people names. Okay? Yet, with all that went through the 60s, early 70s, the turmoil that did, we still recovered. We don't just let a certain event in history stop America from being great. When I was a teacher, I explained to my students about the swinging of the pendulum. When we get too far to one side, left or right, and it gets too extreme, people speak up and act, and the pendulum starts swinging the other way. It would be nice if we would stop in the middle, but no, once it starts swinging, it gets a little bit too far to the other side, and things are wrong, and it goes back. So that's the way America has been going, and as long as that pendulum keeps on swinging, then the people that are, like me looking at Ronald Reagan as a great president when he was a president, and listening to the other people saying he was terrible, he was ignorant, and calling him names, that was okay. They had their opinion. They were angry because he was doing things that I thought were great that they disagree with, and that's the way it goes. But you move on, you keep on growing, okay? So the one thing that I did as a teacher was also to make sure I made it clear to my students that when I was saying something to them, it's my opinion. I made it clear that if I had made a statement about history or facts, that was history or facts. If I made a statement that was opinionated, something I believed in, I made it clear to them that's what I was doing. And that's all I'm doing here in this vlog, is not telling you what's right or wrong, not telling you how to believe. I'm just giving my opinion. And I want to keep these to 7 minutes, so I'm going to stop in a little while and in a couple of days pick it up. But I think what's happening in the Republican Party itself is good and bad. The turmoil in the Republican Party is because many people do not think the Republican Party is doing what it needs to be done, and they've had a long try at it, and maybe it's time for a big change. Other people are saying, no, we got to stick with it, right, wrong, or indifferent. So again, it gets too long to watch these, so I'm going to stop now. And in a couple of days, I'll talk specifically about the Republican Party and how what's happening to it now is changing, and hopefully, again, for the best. Thank you.